Hey guys, Will from Around the Grounds here. In today's video, we're going to be going through the EPL Matchday 15 match predictions. We're going to be looking at all the teams and we're going to figure out who we think is going to win. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, first up we have West Ham vs Chelsea. This is going to be a very interesting match because West Ham have not won in their last 3 games and Chelsea have not lost in their last 8 games. Chelsea have the best defence in the league. The Hammers, they've been good most of the season at home, but Chelsea have won the last 2 encounters they played with West Ham. So it's going to be tricky to see what happens here, but I'm going to go for a high-scoring 2-2 draw because I think there's something special about West Ham this season. And in the last few games, Chelsea haven't looked amazing. They've done the job, but they haven't looked at their best. So that's why I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Alright, moving on to the second game, we've got Newcastle vs Burnley, 20th vs 18th. Burnley haven't lost in 5 games, and Newcastle have not won a game this season, but they've had 3 draws out of their last 4 games. This is kind of turning into a major crisis for the club, and at home they will be desperate to win. The last 2 meetings, Newcastle have won both of them. Burnley don't concede many goals compared to Newcastle, who have conceded 30, which is the highest out of any team in the league. But however, at some point I think Newcastle have to get a win, and I think this will be a scrappy contest, and I'm going to go with a Newcastle win. I'm going to say they're going to be narrow victors with a 2-1 win. Alright guys, now moving on to Wolves vs Liverpool, 8th vs 3rd. Wolves have only scored 12 goals, which is the second least amount of goals out of all teams this season. Wolves have also only conceded 12 goals this season, which is tied as the 3rd best defence in the league, with their opponents, funnily enough, being the other team that have conceded this amount. Liverpool have the best attack in the league, with scoring 43 goals this season and an average of 3 goals a game. I personally do not think Liverpool are going to score 3 goals this game, purely due to Wolves' good defensive record, as well as them playing at home. I don't think there's going to be many goals in this game from either teams, but I think Diogo Jota has stolen the limelight recently, and I'm going to predict a 1-0 Liverpool win, with Jota scoring a header sometime in the second half to seal the 3 points for the Reds. Alright, Southampton vs Brighton, 16th vs 9th. Southampton have not won in their last 3 games, but they got a solid draw against Leicester in the last game week. Brighton, on the other hand, are going through a tough period compared to their great start to the season, as they have not won a game in the last 9 matches, which is a worrying sign for Graham Potter's side. Both sides have had trouble scoring this season, as they've both only scored 13 goals so far, but Brighton boast a better defensive record by conceding 5 goals less than their opponents. This match has a draw written all over it. I'm tempted to give Southampton the win, but I feel as if Brighton's defence will be enough to get them a point. So with that being said, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw at St Mary's. Okay guys, Watford vs Man City, 17th vs 2nd. Watford have not been getting good results recently, with only 1 win from their last 5. However, from what I've seen, they have been playing better and have been quite competitive in all these matches, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from Ranieri's team. Man City, on the other hand, have had a great start to the season again and boast a 3rd best attack and the 2nd best defence in the league. The last 2 starts saw them as 2-1 winners against both Aston Villa and West Ham respectively, whilst not being completely at their best. The Watford crowd will get behind the team, and I think they will start fast out of the gates with an early goal, but I don't see them winning this game as I think Manchester City have too much quality and depth. So with that being said, I'm going to go with a 3-1 Manchester City win, with Riyad Mahrez to score a brace. Alright, Leeds United vs Brentford, 15th vs 12th. Leeds have found some form recently, as they've only lost 1 in their last 6 games. Their 1-0 win over Palace was massive and got the stadium absolutely rocking when Rafinha scored a late penalty to win them the game. Brentford, on the other hand, have been poor recently as they've been losing and drawing against teams at the bottom of the league. They had another defeat in midweek to Spurs where they didn't create many chances at all, even though they had more of the possession. This is sort of becoming a theme for Brentford, and it seems that their strike players like Ivan Toney need to stand up, who has only scored 2 opening field goals this season, which is quite frankly not good enough for such an athlete. With this game being played at a packed out Ellen Road Stadium, I can only see one winner between these sides, and that is Leeds. I think Brentford seem a bit tired and worn down from the physicality of the Premier League, so I'm going to predict a 3-1 Leeds win. Alright guys, now moving on to the 7th game of this game week, and we have Manchester United vs Crystal Palace, 7th vs 11th. This is the first game that Man United will play under the new manager Ralf Rangnick, who has the sole responsibility to get results for the club for the rest of the season. United have been quite inconsistent this year, which is why Ole was sacked for Rangnick. United got a good result with a 3-2 win over Arsenal midweek, with Ronaldo showing his quality. He looked determined and clinical, which is dangerous for the rest of the clubs in the Premier League moving forward. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, have not won in 3 games, which is disappointing as they were playing good football prior to this mini form slump. Palace have only ever beaten United twice out of the 24 times these sides have met in the Premier League. However, in their last 2 encounters, Palace got a draw and a 3-1 win at Old Trafford, respectively. I do not see Palace continuing this against United, who are going to be eager to play well under their new manager. I think United are going to create a lot more chances this game than in all of their games this season, and I think we're going to see Sue at least once this game, with Ronaldo starring in a 3-0 United win at Old Trafford. Alright guys, Tottenham vs Norwich City, 6th vs 19th. Tottenham are unbeaten in their last 3 games and are looking better and better under their new manager Antonio Conte. They had a solid 2-0 win over Brentford midweek and created some good chances and goals. The one thing Spurs needs is for Harry Kane to fire, and I think this is the perfect game for him to start finding some form in the Premier League. Norwich have found some good form of late as they have not lost in the last 4 games after their poor start to the season. Pukki has been banging some goals in recently, and if he can continue to do that, Norwich will be quite competitive in this game because they have only scored 8 goals this season, which is the worst in the Prem, but 5 of those have come from the last 4 games they have played. This game is tough to call because Norwich have been good lately and so have Spurs, but this is a defining game for Spurs and one I think they have to win to show that they have turned a corner and are not an inconsistent top 10 team, but rather a team that can push for those European spots. With that being said, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Spurs win with Harry Kane getting on the score sheet. Alright, now Aston Villa vs Leicester City, 13th vs 10th. Aston Villa have been inconsistent all season, but they have started to play well recently since the new manager Steven Gerrard was appointed. In his first 3 games, they have got 2 good victories over Brighton and Palace, but they suffered a narrow 2-1 loss to Manchester City midweek. The atmosphere around Villa is very positive at the moment, and Steven Gerrard has gotten his side playing good football. Their opponents, Leicester City, have been one of the most inconsistent teams in the Premier League this season. They got a good 4-2-1 win against Watford on Sunday night, but only managed a 2-2 draw against Southampton. That really should have been a Leicester City win, with Jamie Vardy missing a crucial chance in the second half. The Foxes have been woeful defensively this season, as they have conceded 25 goals in the season, which is averaging nearly 2 goals a game, which is not good for such a quality side as Leicester. It is not unusual to see Jamie Vardy miss a chance in one game and then score 1 or 2 bangers in the next game, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen in this game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, and I'm going to go with a 3-2 Foxes win with Jamie Vardy scoring a brace. Alright guys, now Everton vs Arsenal, 14th vs 5th. Everton are in the midst of a mini crisis after not winning in their last 8 games, with their last win coming against Norwich in September. Injuries have played a part, but for whatever reason, Everton are not the blistering attacking or strong defensive side that we saw glimpses of at the start of the season. They have conceded 8 goals in their last 3 games, with a heavy 4-1 loss to the rivals Liverpool at home, which is simply not acceptable for Rafa Benitez or the players. Arsenal, on the other hand, have recovered well after a slow start to the season by jumping into 5th position. However, they have lost 2 of the last 3 matches and are showing inconsistency. With that being said, the last 2 games between these sides in the Premier League both resulted in Everton wins. Demarai Gray is back from injury for Everton, and he is the energy that they will need to help Everton scrape a surprise 1-0 victory over Arsenal at home. And guys, if you're new around here, make sure you drop a sub, drop a like, that'll help out the channel a lot, and would really appreciate that. Alright guys, now that is the end of the video, and those are my Game Week 15 predictions for this week. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and leave your predictions in the comments of who you think is going to win these games. With that being said, I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.